The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers document that Katie Logan Spencer is ecstatic. She felt the weight of starting the fashion house her renewed husband is funding until Eric Forrester lifted it. Having Eric support her efforts was wonderful, but that became more than a sharp emotional contrast to Brooke Logan Forrester's reaction to her younger sister's break from Forrester Creations. Katie felt compelled to leave the fashion house where she had performed well as the company's public relations head for the past 10 years. But being slighted by Ridge Forrester, Brooke, and Carter Walton made it easy to accept Bill Spencer's aspirational wedding gift. Bill fondly refers to Tom's character as his Katie, but his term of endearment didn't move the soapy relationship needle in recent years. It took the horror that Luna Nozawa injected into their family's life to radically alter Katie's thinking. She saw that Bill had truly changed and, after Luna was killed, found it in her heart to embrace him again. Their unplanned remarriage ceremony at the Spencer estate followed Hope Logan Spencer's sweet remarriage to Liam Spencer. But Bill thought ahead and had a remarriage gift that blew Katie's mind. Eric was slighted by Ridge as well. He was told to retire until Ridge felt guilt-tripped into asking his father to continue designing. The co-founder and owner of FC didn't accept Ridge's half-hearted offer. Instead, Eric saw an opportunity for rebirth in Katie's company. He's providing her with unique expertise that no one else can offer to help her build Logan into a force in the industry. Combine that with Brooke's downward view of Katie's desire to pursue a path that's not tied to her. The mining of this specific sibling grudge provides plenty of room for conflict in the months ahead. But Eric is also bringing his fresh designs, which will give Katie an edge that Forrester won't have. That additional reveal will put Ridge and Brooke on their heels. One of the many great elements of Daytime is its guest stars. Smiles will be on the faces of longtime fans when they see Morgan Fairchild and Jim J. Bullock return to the cast, as teasers have shown. Fairchild and Bullock last appeared on the show in 2009. Dottie and her assistant, Bruno, are tied to Eric's new connection at Logan. Great soap is unfolding this winter because of Katie and Eric's leap from FC to a new fashion house that Bill is backing. This development revives classic family battles that have defined this classic soap across the decades in Daytime. The Bold and the Beautiful spoiler reveal that Hope Spencer just may become Sheila Sharp's target because she has been playing Cupid with Deacon Sharp and Taylor Hayes. Sheila is furious that Deacon's children no longer want them to be together. Will Sheila come after Hope for revenge? Hope and Deacon just want something better for their father. Deacon loves Sheila, but he can do so much better. However, Deke knows that Deacon has feelings for Taylor, and so does his sister Hope. Hope has been the main one pushing for Deacon and Taylor to give themselves a chance. In the meantime, Steffi Forrester is warning Deacon to stay away. Sheila is already upset with Hope because she was not invited to her and Liam Spencer's wedding. Even it was Hope's daughter who asked for Sheila to be excluded. Hope knew that Sheila would not be happy about being left out, but she may be in for something she didn't anticipate when Hope turns Deacon protector. Sheila is about to learn that Taylor has developed feelings for Deacon. Let's be honest, Sheila has been encouraging Deacon to keep seeing Taylor all of this time. Deacon and Taylor have tried to distance themselves, but that has not worked so far. Deacon and Taylor continue to find themselves draw right back together no matter what. With all of Steffi's rumblings about Sheila coming after her mom, she very well could come after Taylor for her time with Deacon. However, Sheila is partly to blame for their closeness because she continues to push them together more and more as Deacon and Sheila work together in his therapy sessions. Fans know that Deacon and Sheila are about to be seen more often, even sharing an intimate kiss in her office. As much as Sheila drops by unannounced, she could very easily walk in on an intimate moment. Sheila is not going to just have revenge on Taylor. She is going to want everyone involved to pay. Will Deacon's children be the first ones that Sheila goes after, since she knows they are not on board with their relationship continuing? Will Deacon, just out of the blue, break things off with Sheila and try to move on after trying once again to make this marriage work? Is Deacon done and ready to move on with the next love of his life? Betrayal and treachery seem to arrive on the Bold and the Beautiful as Ivy spies Dylan wooing Will. On the other hand, the hesitant psychiatrist and her patient confirm their feelings as they seal it with a kiss. Meanwhile, Sheila's wrath scares Steffi and others, while the crazy one continues to emphasize the success of her marriage and her love for Deacon. The previous week on The Bold and the Beautiful presented the dilemma surrounding Taylor's romantic interest after Steffi overheard her mother's conversation with Deacon. The shocked CEO of Forrester Creations forbade her mother from dating Sheila's husband. Steffi was scared of the crazy woman's reaction if she learnt about her husband's betrayal with Taylor. Steffi feared that Sheila would come after Taylor. At the same time, Hope tried to convince her father to drop Sheila and go for Taylor since he deserved a better woman who made him happy. Meanwhile, Sheila complained to Lee about the lack of family support she received from her stepchildren while trying to convince Deke of her love for Deacon. The week also saw RJ's inclusion in the Will-Electra pairing as the Forrester scion seemed interested in his non-related cousin. Meanwhile, Electra was seen worried about Dylan's intentions after learning about the latter having dinner with Will. As such, the Forrester intern warned the homeless friend away from her boyfriend again. As mentioned before, recently, Electra learnt about Dylan and Will sharing a dinner that Will prepared for his girlfriend. As such, she taunted him about her being so easily replaceable while warning Dylan against crossing the boundaries of Will and her romantic relationship. She also looked forward to going on an official trip with her Aunt Ivy. The upcoming episodes of The Bold and the Beautiful will likely reveal that Ivy is dropped from the trip and Steffi is going in her place. Since Electra will be gone, Ivy may consider checking things out at the beach house, based on her opinion about Dylan putting up with Will. The soap's spoilers suggest that Ivy may catch sight of an uncomfortable situation at the beach house. The soap's preview shows that Dylan will lose her footing and land on Will's lap. While this may be a scheme from the teacher, Will may be too surprised to react. As the two stare at each other in this closeness, Ivy will likely spy them from a window. Whether she acts upon it or informs her niece remains to be seen. For weeks on end, Taylor and Deacon found each other's company likable. However, they tried not to overstep their boundaries. While Taylor remembered that Deacon was a patient, the latter respected his marriage and feared for Taylor's safety. However, recently, their daughter stepped in to offer them their opinions. On one hand, Steffi asked Taylor to cut ties with Deacon, while Hope urged Deacon to follow his right to live happily. The Bold and the Beautiful preview hints at Deacon and Taylor's closeness increasing in the coming week. The two may try to talk about their situation more openly since they were recently offered advice by the other's daughters. An open discussion will likely lead to acceptance of feelings. While Deacon will express his worries about Sheila harming Taylor, the latter may reassure him about her courage to fight all odds. Moving beyond their fantasies about each other, the doctor and her patient may give in to temptation in the upcoming episodes as they kiss. Whether their kiss signals more passion in the coming days remains to be seen. As the previous weeks showed, Hope and Deke dislike Sheila and prefer their father to start a new love life with Taylor. Keeping that in mind, Hope tried to push her father to leave Sheila and get on with his romance with Taylor. However, Steffi had the opposing view and warned both the romantic parties off any togetherness, fearing that Sheila would turn crazy with anger and come after Taylor. The upcoming episodes of The Bold and the Beautiful will see Sheila continue to profess her love for her husband and sing praises about Taylor saving her marriage. However, small cues may start to worry her soon, such as Deacon not responding to her flirtations. She may soon have suspicions about Deacon's change in attitude towards her while maintaining an eagerness to attend his sessions with Taylor. Since Taylor and Deacon are slated to kiss in the coming week, it may reflect in his behavior, which his wife may pick up. If Sheila starts to think Taylor stole Deacon away from her, she will take brutal revenge. This possibility will continue to haunt Steffi since she knows Sheila's violent past attack on her mother. The other storyline in the coming week will involve the newly returned RJ, who will settle comfortably at his mother's mansion. Stay tuned to The Bold and the Beautiful to catch the drama surrounding Deacon and Taylor's romance, opening the door for Sheila's crazy revenge, and Ivy catching proof of Dylan's sinister presence in Will's life. The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers next week promise that the week of January 26-30, 2026 is when all the slow burn storylines finally catch fire. The Bold and the Beautiful, spoilers next week, center on Ridge and Brooke's hunt for Katie's mystery. Logan lead designer, a beach house triangle that puts Dylan in Will's lap, and Taylor and Deacon's growing connection that could send Sheila into full countdown to chaos mode. With February sweeps kicking off on Thursday, January 29th, and running through February 25th, this is the stretch where the show starts cashing in on the setups that have been simmering since earlier in the month. Across the week, Steffi struggles with the threat Sheila poses to Taylor. Electra realizes she may have a creeper under her own roof, and guest stars Morgan Fairchild and Jim J. Bullock return as Dottie and Bruno to shake up the Logan fashion story. By the time Friday rolls around, Ridge Forrester and Brooke Logan are closer to the truth about Eric's new gig, while Will Spencer and R.J. Forrester are poised to become the kind of rivals their fathers have always been. As one spoiler tease puts it, the week of January 26th and 30 will bring some highs and lows. So let's break down exactly what's ahead in The Bold and the Beautiful, spoilers for January 26th-30. The Logan brand is suddenly the most dangerous place in Los Angeles to keep a secret. Eric Forrester quietly signs on as Katie Logan's lead designer at Logan. And the decision doesn't just give Katie a power move, it sets up a generational clash between the Forresters, the Logans, and the Spencers. Belinda Gates Turner's early spoilers rundown, first posted on January 21st, 2026, and sitting at 45 views when captured, lays out how Ridge Forrester and Brooke Logan immediately zero in on the mystery. At home, Brooke can't stop grilling Donna Logan after Katie confides in her. The audio of the spoiler breakdown spells out that Brooke was already, "Who is it? Tell me! Who is it? Tell me!" after Katie admitted she hired a lead designer. The obsession only grows once Brooke reports back to Ridge that her sister has made this move behind their backs. Next week, that curiosity escalates into a full-on investigation. The Spoiler Podcast explains that Ridge and Brooke want to know who Katie hired as lead designer, and that Donna will be stuck having to lie for her sister when they press for answers. Ridge Forrester, played by Thorsten Kaye, and Brooke Logan Forrester, played by Catherine Kelly Lang, are not used to being shut out of Eric's creative life, so the secrecy is its own provocation. Bill Spencer, meanwhile, is firmly Team Katie. The spoiler preview notes that Bill is proud that Katie landed Eric as her lead designer, and Don Diamant's Titan is practically itching to rub that victory in Ridge's face. There is an extra layer of irony in Eric Forrester backing a Logan-branded house. As the podcast reminds viewers, R.J. Forrester recently pointed out that he, Ridge, Thomas Forrester, and Steffi are all biologically Maroons, not Forresters. That means Logan is technically the firm with the true Forrester lead designer, even while so many Forrester men carry Marone DNA. The early edition also dives into the contract and copyright side of Eric's move. In analysis, Gates Turner stresses that Eric Forrester, played by John McCook, is a co-founder and one-third owner of Forrester Creations, and that he and Stephanie Forrester, played by Susan Flannery, together owned 75% of the company. Eric designed his most recent collection at home, not on Forrester property, with no non-compete clause and no formal Forrester employment contract on file. Since those designs were never requested, formally submitted, accepted, produced, or even officially viewed, only Steffi caught a glimpse while Ridge refused to look. The argument that Forrester owns the work is, in this analysis, very weak. That opens the door for Katie Logan Spencer, played by Heather Tom, to unleash Eric's vision at Logan without worrying about a viable legal claim from the family fashion house. For now, though, Katie and Eric are determined to keep everything under wraps. Donna Logan Spencer, played by Jennifer Garris, gets pulled into the secrecy and may have a meltdown over being asked to lie to Brooke. At some point, Bill and Katie may try to persuade Will Spencer to leave Forrester and join Logan as well. But spoilers suggest he will refuse because of what RJ is doing with Electra. The more the Logans consolidate Eric and Will, the more explosive it will be when Ridge and Brooke finally learn that the mystery designer is Eric himself. The rest of the week's spoilers reach back to what happens on Wednesday, January 21st, Thursday, January 22nd, and Friday, January 23rd, before rolling into the week of January 26th-30. On Wednesday the 21st, Lee Finnegan, played by Naomi Matsuda, picks up her tense conversation with Sheila Carter after Deacon Sharp pulls back from Sheila's intimate advances. In the spoiler audio transcript, Lee is rendered as Lee, but the emotional beats stay the same. The two women circle each other warily, and Sheila is rattled enough by Deacon's hesitation that she wonders aloud whether another woman has her eye on him. Hope Logan, played by Annika Noel, arrives at Deacon's place soon after Sheila leaves and pointedly urges her dad to go for it with Taylor Hayes. Taylor, now played by Rebecca Budig, is coming off years of trauma and complicated family therapy, and Steffi, called Steffi in the transcript, once again pleads with her mother to drop Deacon as a patient. Steffi Forrester Finnegan, played by Jacqueline McInnes Wood, knows exactly what happens when her mom gets entangled with a man whose ex is as unstable as Sheila. On Thursday, January 22nd, Deacon and Taylor find it harder and harder to fight their feelings, and the spoiler host expects at least a kiss in Taylor's hospital office, even if they don't jump straight to doing the naughty on the couch. A whole coalition scrambles to keep Sheila from finding out what is brewing between them. The transcript lists Steffi, Hope, Deke, and Fen in that first wave of protectors, with Deke clearly standing in for Deacon and Fen, for John Finn Finnegan, played by Tanner Novlin. Together, they worry that if Sheila gets even a whiff of this new romance, she will go do something terrible. By Friday, January 23rd, Sheila's son Finn is doing his best to dodge his mother at Il Giardino, spelled Il Giardino in the transcript, even as he and Steffi's kids happily dig into Deacon's pizza. Sheila corners him, bragging about how Taylor fixed her marriage, while Finn silently catalogs every word. Once he escapes, he runs straight back to Steffi to report everything, especially any suggestion that Sheila thinks Deacon seems distracted. Anything that might put her on the path to figuring out Taylor and Deacon's chemistry terrifies Steffi. Next week's Celeb Dirty Laundry Breakdown, written by Heather Hughes, folds these pre-week beats into a bigger picture. The bold and the beautiful spoilers for the week of January 26 to 30 reveal that fans will see major meltdowns, promise breakers, and some wedding goals, the article teases, promising that Sheila could become suspicious of Deacon and Taylor's true feelings, so stay tuned for the countdown to chaos. As Deacon inevitably breaks his marriage vows to Sheila Sharp, CDL's way of acknowledging Sheila's marriage to Deacon Sharp, even as longtime fans still call her Sheila Carter, he risks turning her fury on Taylor. Analysis. These spoilers underline that Steffi's fear is not paranoia. Hope and Lee both want Sheila out of Deacon's life, and Taylor in it, if that is what finally pushes Sheila out the door. That can read as cavalier when you remember how many lives Sheila has shattered. The more Taylor and Deacon heat up, the more a vengeful Sheila will threaten not just Taylor, but also Steffi, Finn, and their children once the truth comes out. If the bold and the beautiful spoilers next week had a single setting, it would be the beach house. Early in the week, Electra Forrester, played by Linnea Grace, is supposed to be there for dinner while Will Spencer grills chicken, but she ends up working late at the office. That leaves room for the young woman staying with them to push boundaries. At first, the early spoiler transcript simply calls her Dylan and identifies her as an ex-art teacher, while the later written spoilers clarify that she is Daphne Rose, played by Muriel Hilaire. Electra's absence gives Dylan a chance to bond more intensely with Will. CDL notes that Dylan, played there by Sydney Bullock, will slowly deepen her bond with Will Spencer despite the promises she's made to Electra Forrester about respecting their relationship. The podcast jokingly says Dylan might score a winner-winner chicken dinner with Will while his girlfriend is stuck late at the office. At the beach house, she thanks Will for letting her stay there and offers to repay his kindness in a way that sounds sketchy and vague enough to be deniable. On Thursday, January 22nd, Electra finally voices her concerns. She tells Will outright that she is uneasy about Dylan and suspects another woman may be checking him out. The transcript suggests that Electra is not yet getting full stalker Luna vibes, a nod to Luna Nozawa, played by Lisa Yamadata, but she is definitely on high alert. The spoilers hint that Elektra may overhear Dylan's provocative offer of repayment in non-monetary terms, which only heightens her anxiety about this houseguest. By Friday, January 23rd, Elektra confronts Dylan and corners her with some hard questions. As the spoiler voiceover describes it, the ex-art teacher assures Elektra that she's not crossing any lines with Will. But the host calls that straight-up gaslighting from the school of Luna crazy. Dylan is clearly attracted to Will. She has already been watching him outdoor showering in his swimsuit, something no friend's girlfriend should be doing. That phrase alone paints her as someone who is far too interested in the man whose couch she is surfing on. Next week, the spoiler video from Soap Opera News raises the stakes. One preview bite reveals that Steffi surprises Elektra with some news. Ivy is shocked by what she sees, and more. In that clip, Ivy, played by Ashley Brewer, happens upon Dylan in Will's lap at the beach house and is completely shocked by what she sees, with the show making it clear that this is not the kind of thing Ivy can ignore. That discovery could be exactly the ammunition Elektra needs to prove that her houseguest has crossed a line. There is also a naming wrinkle worth noting. The Soap Dirt audio transcript and CDL's written spoilers use Dylan as the name of the young woman staying with Will, while the casting and some written breakdowns call her Daphne Rose. In practice, the show seems to be using Daphne as the official name, with Muriel Hilaire playing the role, while early spoiler chatter still bounces between Dylan and Daphne as the beach house storyline gains traction. Through all of this, Will Spencer, played by Crew Morrow, and R.J. Forrester, played by Brian Nicoletti, are supposed to be honoring a tentative agreement to get along better than their dads, Bill Spencer and Ridge Forrester. But as the podcast notes, 2026 spoilers say they are rivals soon, with RJ lurking around at Elektra's office and taking every opportunity to sniff around her at work. Will is going to be on fire about RJ hitting on Elektra. Bill and Katie might want Will to leave Forrester and join Logan, but as long as RJ is an issue, Will is unlikely to walk away from the Forrester orbit so easily. Next week's The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers for January 26 to 30 also spotlight some very fun returning faces. Our 2 to 3 minute Soap Opera News promo video trumpets big guest stars and shocking moves, and the names do not disappoint. Morgan Fairchild returns as Dottie, a role she last played in 2009, while Jim J. Bullock steps back in as Bruno. The soap vet and sitcom icon bring a dose of camp and glamour that fits perfectly with the Logan fashion storyline. Dottie's return connects directly to Eric's new job and the Logan brand, with Morgan Fairchild sliding back into the part she originated more than a decade ago. Bruno, played by Jim J. Bullock, has history at Forrester and returns just in time to weigh in on Eric's creative pivot. Their reappearances underline how seismic Eric's decision is. The show is bringing back legacy-adjacent guest stars to underscore what a big swing Katie is taking with Logan. The same promo promises fresh R.J. Forrester material. R.J., played by Brian Nicoletti, is shown strolling through the halls of Brooke's home, shirtless and completely at ease, and Brooke jokes that her son is a familiar sight in the house, almost like he never left. That easy dynamic contrasts with the tension building between R.J. and Will over Elektra. At home, he is the beloved son who can raid the fridge and wander around in a towel. At Logan and the beach house, he is the guy lurking around the office and creating chaos in his cousin's love life. Toward the end of the week, Steffi drops a travel bombshell. Soap Opera News notes that she surprises Elektra with some news before revealing she is heading to San Francisco as well. How that affects Elektra's plans, and whether it intersects with any Logan or beach house business, remains to be seen. But San Francisco becomes a new pressure point in the already crowded board of rivalries and alliances. Of course, The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers next week are not all doom and gloom. CDL highlights that amidst the meltdowns and promise breakers, fans will see major meltdowns, promise breakers, and some wedding goals. Daphne Rose and Carter Walton are set to be one of those wedding goals as they look forward to their upcoming nuptials. Carter, played by Lawrence St. Victor, has been burned many times in love, So pairing him with Daphne gives the show a chance to explore whether a relative newcomer can offer the stability he has not found with legacy characters. Elsewhere, Liam Spencer and Hope Logan Spencer, played by Scott Clifton and Annika Noel, continue to celebrate their recent remarriage. They might have the picture-perfect Instagram moments for now, but CDL warns that they get pulled into some new family drama angles at some point. With so much chaos swirling around Deacon, Taylor, Sheila, and the Logans, it is not hard to imagine Liam and Hope getting dragged into the fallout from Deacon's romantic choices, or from Eric's secret move to Logan. Donna Logan Spencer's emotional arc next week also counts as a kind of wedding-adjacent story. She is caught between loyalty to her sisters and to Eric, whose new job she supports. Donna has always been quick to tears when family fractures, and spoilers suggest another meltdown is coming as she tries to keep Katie's secret and field Brooke's relentless questions. If Donna cracks under pressure and reveals Eric's involvement with Logan, she could blow up both the Eric-Katie partnership and Bill's plan to gloat over Ridge. As these stories play out, remember that this week is also the on-ramp to February sweeps. The podcast emphasizes that February sweeps kicks off on Thursday, January 29th, and runs through February 25th, which means all these seemingly small lies and near misses are building to bigger reveals. When Ridge and Brooke finally discover Eric's new allegiance, when Sheila discovers that Deacon and Taylor have crossed a line, and when Elektra gets undeniable proof that Dylan, Daphne, crossed boundaries with Will, the consequences will land in that high-stakes sweeps window. All of these, the bold and the beautiful, spoilers for January 26-30, come with a crowded canvas of characters and performers. Here's a breakdown of everyone named in the latest early previews and spoiler write-ups. The bold and the beautiful preview for the week of January 26th reveals Taylor Hayes and Deacon Sharp will kiss. Also coming up, Steffi Forrester will change her plans and head to San Francisco with Elektra Forrester. Plus, Ivy Forrester will see something she'll wish she could unsee. B&B spoilers tease Elektra thought she was going on her business trip with her aunt. However, she'll be heading to San Francisco with Steffi instead. Of course, this jaunt will leave things wide open for Dylan. The art teacher, who is apparently Elektra's closest friend, promised her that nothing inappropriate will occur with Will Spencer while she's away. Not surprisingly, Dylan will look Will up and down as he's drying himself off on the deck. Then she'll waste no time making the moves on him. Of course, Dylan will have no idea that Ivy is looking through Will's window. Did Elektra ask her to go over to the beach house and check on her boyfriend? Regardless, Ivy will see Dylan sitting on Will's lap. But will they cross a line? Other B&B spoilers tease Brooke Forrester will smile at a fresh from the pool, shirtless RJ Forrester, saying it's like he never left. Plus, Morgan Fairchild and Jim J. Bullock will make guest appearances. Finally, on Friday's B&B, Deacon asked Taylor if he could take her out on a date. In the B&B weekly preview, Sheila Carter will tell her husband they're so blessed to have Taylor in their corner. But Sheila wouldn't be so grateful if she knew the world-renowned psychiatrist was flirting it up with her man. And next week, Deacon and Taylor will share a smooch at her office. But will it be for real this time? Stay tuned! Hey B&B fans! Are you enjoying the latest CBS Sudser Beyond the Gates? Then make sure you join our free Facebook group. The Bold and the Beautiful episode aired on January 23rd, 2026, showed Hope pushing Taylor to talk about her feelings for Deacon, and Steffi overhearing a confession that changed everything. Elsewhere, Sheila made an unsettling appearance that left Finn shaken, while Deacon tried to keep the peace by claiming she was not around. The episode set secrets on a path toward open conflict. Tension also grew around Will helping Dylan, which raised concerns for Katie and led Elektra to set firm boundaries. Questions of trust and loyalty came up as hard conversations played out at the beach house in Forrester. It became clear that these situations were more fragile than anyone wanted to admit. By the end, clear lines were drawn on all sides. Steffi confronted Hope for pushing a risky match, while Taylor and Deacon struggled to keep things professional. With Sheila still looming and emotions running high, the episode ended on a charged note that hinted at serious fallout ahead. At the Cliff House, Hope kept questioning Taylor about her feelings for Deacon and believed it was more than simple concern. Taylor tried to stay calm, but let the truth slip when she said they could be great together. Steffi walked in at that moment and heard everything, which set up a confrontation neither of them saw coming. At Il Giardino, Deacon told Finn that Sheila was not there and avoided talking about how he dealt with her chaos. After Deacon left for his session with Taylor, Sheila appeared and warmly greeted Finn. Finn said he was only there for takeout, but Sheila ignored his discomfort and sat down to brag that she and Deacon were back together and doing well thanks to Taylor. Katie went to see Will at the beach house and wanted to know why Dylan was staying in the guest room. Will explained that Dylan lost her job and her apartment after the Luna situation and had been living in her car. Katie praised Will for helping her. At Forrester, Electra firmly told Dylan she could never have dinner alone with Will again. Dylan said she was only at the beach house to do laundry and apologized for upsetting Electra. She asked if there was a job for her at Forrester, but Electra explained there would not be an opening anytime soon. Dylan was surprised but accepted the news calmly and promised to focus on rebuilding her life without causing problems for Will and Electra. Deacon met with Taylor and said that Hope had also talked to him, just like she had talked to Taylor. Taylor admitted that Hope thought something was happening between them. Deacon said he had not discouraged the idea. Steffi confronted Hope and asked why she was encouraging Taylor to be with Deacon, even though he was married to Sheila. Hope said their parents deserved to be happy, but Steffi warned that Sheila made the situation dangerous and unacceptable. Steffi told Hope to help Deacon move on without involving Taylor and reminded her about Sheila's past. Back at the Cliff House, Taylor told Deacon she did not need protecting, but he admitted that Steffi's worries about Sheila made him concerned too. Deacon suggested they stop pretending it was just therapy and meet for lunch instead. The moment became very personal as he leaned in, leaving Taylor torn between being careful and giving in to temptation. Next week on The Bold and the Beautiful, spoilers reveal that Steffi surprises Electra with some news. Ivy is shocked by what she sees, and more. Here's what's coming up on B&B from January 26 to 30. Next week on The Bold and the Beautiful, Electra is caught off guard when Steffi reveals she's heading to San Francisco as well. Steffi explains there's been a change of plans, but in the clip, she stops short of spelling out exactly what that means. Naturally, questions start swirling. The show also welcomes some familiar and fun guest stars. Morgan Fairchild returns as Dottie, a role she last played back in 2009. She's not arriving alone either. Jim J. Bullock joins her on screen as Bruno. Meanwhile, RJ is spotted strolling through the halls of Brooke's home, shirtless and completely at ease. Brooke is thrilled to see him and calls it a familiar sight, almost like he never left. Elsewhere, Taylor and Deacon share a kiss, but is it real this time or just another fantasy? Sheila, for her part, tells Deacon how incredibly lucky they are to have Taylor on their side. Of course, Sheila has no idea what's going on behind her back. Trouble brews at the beach house. Dylan promised to respect Electra's wishes while she's out of town. That promise doesn't hold up for long. Dylan gets far too close for comfort with Will. She even ends up in his lap as sparks fly. Unfortunately for Dylan, Ivy sees everything. She's shocked, clearly unhappy, and not about to ignore what she's just witnessed. The Bold and the Beautiful's episode on January 26 focuses on protective daughters and complicated living arrangements. Steffi Forrester and Hope Logan got involved in the personal lives of their parents. While Hope went to see Taylor Hayes to try to get Deacon Sharp to date her, Steffi went the other way and talked to Deacon directly. The situation became more complicated between Deacon and Taylor, as a therapist and a patient. Hope Logan made a big move when she supported her dad's relationship with Taylor, hoping to save him from his marriage to Sheila Carter. Steffi Forrester was a fierce protector at the same time, telling Deacon to stay away from her mother to avoid Sheila's anger. The unspoken tensions between the families came up with their competing plans. At Forrester Creations, Jamie was looking for a new job, and Electra was getting more worried about her cousin Dylan's closeness to Will Spencer. At the same time, professional opportunities changed. To start the day at the Forrester office, there were changes to paperwork and personal news. An intern named Jamie went up to Steffi Forrester and asked if she could apply for the open receptionist job. Steffi didn't say anything, but she did say she already had a specific person in mind for the job. Electra walked into the room after Jamie talked about RJ's return and then left. She was very excited about the business trip she took with Ivy not long ago. Soon, the conversation turned to Dylan's job. Steffi told Dylan that he should apply for an internship at the company since she had already hired Jamie for the job at the front desk. This maneuvering at work led to problems between the two later on, when Electra felt the pressure of Dylan's presence in her social and work circles. The action moved to the design office, where Will Spencer met with Electra. Tensions rose when Will mentioned that Dylan had eaten his chicken teriyaki the night before. As a joke, Electra replied that she could be easily replaced, but it was clear that she was worried. When Electra got back from her next trip, Will tried to make things better by promising to cook for her. However, Electra stayed focused on how the dinner invitation came about. According to Will, Dylan was helping with the laundry, and he politely asked her to join him. Dylan crossing lines or becoming too comfortable in Will's home made Electra uncomfortable. Will was told very clearly that she would take care of the situation with Dylan herself to avoid any more confusion. Hope supported the match, while Steffi Forrester tried to stop it. When she arrived, Deacon was contemplating his relationship with Taylor. Steffi immediately issued a harsh ultimatum. All romantic thoughts about her mother had to stop, she said. Steffi warned Deacon that his choices have consequences and that he is married to a dangerous woman. She accused him of exploiting Taylor's kindness and warned him not to anger Sheila. Deacon claimed Taylor had changed his life and defended his relationship with her. Steffi refused, saying her mother's safety was her top priority and that he should leave. Surprisingly, Hope Logan went to the Cliff House to talk to Taylor Hayes about Deacon Sharp. Hope didn't hold back when she told Taylor that Deacon had told her how he really felt about her. She spoke up for her dad and said he was a great guy who deserved a good relationship. Hope told Deacon that she wanted him to find a better partner than Sheila Carter and named Taylor as that person. Taylor thought the conversation was totally wrong and pointed out that it broke their code of ethics as a patient and therapist. Taylor tried to end the conversation, but Hope wouldn't go away. She made the case that Deacon is denying himself true happiness because he is afraid of Sheila. Hope told Taylor that she should put her own happiness first and think about a future with Deacon, even though there were risks.